Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Cancer, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Cancer, I hope that you are doing well. I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today. The first one for the overall energy will be from the Elemental Oracle, and then I'm breaking out the Tarot of Mystical Moments. It's just feeling really, I don't tend to use this deck as much, or I try to use it sparingly. It's almost like this is the deck I bring out for special occasions, and I don't know why, but this series of readings called for special occasion energy, which I think is a good thing. So cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angel spirits, guys, what messages do you have? Thank you for Cancer. Number 37, which reduces to a 10, corresponding to the Wheel of Fortune card in the Major Arcana. Good luck, good fortune. Cancers, I'm so happy for you as a fellow Cancerian. And attraction and magnetism are the words at the bottom here. Immediately, it just makes me think of the dreamers. The dreamers. Spirit is saying the sky is the limit, that whatever you are imagining in your mind's eye is what you can have in your reality. I do see Saturn, or a Saturn-like planet, depicted in the background here. Saturn is known as the planet of restriction, and it is the planet of Father Time. Anytime you have you're dealing with Saturn, there's kind of like we have to play by the rules. But Spirit is saying to me, no, rather for you, it's know the rules to break the rules. Know the rules that you have set out for yourself, the confines that have been placed around you or that you've placed around yourself, and understanding where those boundaries have been drawn so that you can redraw new boundaries, right? So boundaries can be good things. They don't have to just be constricting or limiting. Sometimes we have to cut off people, places, and things that do not allow us to be free, or do not allow us to express ourselves in the most genuine and authentic way. So Spirit is saying something about that. It's just like they're pointing out to me there's been some kind of narrative or some kind of limitation that you've put around your selfhood, your identity, what you think you can do, what you think you are capable of, and it's breaking out of that box and reconstructing it in a way that feels right for you. Because I feel as though that you've entered into this new phase, new chapter of your life. It's bringing with it a lot of abundance, but with that, it's kind of like the expansiveness, right? The Wheel of Fortune's card of expansiveness, it does represent Jupiterian energy, which is the planet of just greater and more abundant. So it's almost like you have a bigger playground to play in. What are you going to do first? What are you going to do next? And we do see this, I do see this like a bed here, which makes me think that oh, Spirit, your spirit guide, thank you. You know, it was perfectly fine, and now this car alarm is going off. It's irritating, but it also shows me something. I was gonna say, we've woken up out of bed. It's like the alarm is going off, Cancer. What are you going to do now that you've woken up? I'm just going to pause the video for a moment while we wait for this to end. Okay, we're back. So I was talking about waking up, but that couldn't have been more like morning alarm if it tried. And when I tell you, that doesn't happen very often. There's honking, but car alarms don't usually go off like that. And I take nothing for granted when I read tarot. So the back is turned. It's looking forward to this expansiveness, but there's something about not being able to see the face. It's like you're turning your back on things that do not serve you. You're turning your back on all the things that were maybe causing you to be in the state of energetic slumber. It's like you've woken up into a new consciousness, right? Attraction and magnetism, that also makes me think immediately of the Empress card of the Major Arcana, the card of earthiness and abundance. She is the power of all four queens and the master attractor. There are all sorts of, I do have the window slightly ajar, but there are all sorts of sounds happening outside right now. The one that just happened sounded almost like wooden wind chimes. It was probably a bottle, but it sounded to me like wooden wind chimes, changing vibrations. It's an understanding that you are calling something in. You have called something in towards yourself. Something that you've wanted for a very long time. And you know what Spirit is showing me? With Saturn here, you put the work in. Could have taken years. I know that this feels relevant to me. Years to get to this point where you are now. And it's almost like wanting to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future. And at the end, card of advice from Spirit. 2 more. Okay. Okay. So 2 extra cards came out. We're going to look at those. Now, I'm going to take these as part of the overall energy. Got the 9 of Pentacles here, coupled with the Lover's card in the reverse. The Lover's card, number 6 of the Major Arcana. This is Gemini energy. You could be dealing with a Gemini or have Gemini placements in your chart. Could be in your Jupiter, actually. I have Gemini in my Jupiter. And I don't know why that was relevant to you. Perhaps it is. So 9 of Pentacles talks about this independence, the sense of we've made it, we've worked hard for this, right? Just what I was talking about. The fruits, literally, Spirit is giving me these synchronicities, the fruits of our labor, and now we're enjoying them. And I think it's interesting here that these 2 kind of counterpart energies are represented by birds. You did get the Lover's card in reverse, though. So lovers can talk about high-level commitment. So this could be talking about a person, a significant other in your life, or it could be talking about an endeavor that speaks to the heart chakra, the heart space. Lover's card can also refer to decision-making, being at a choice point. The card in reverse, it kind of shows me that, for me, it's about the decision-making, that there's this true acceptance of your autonomy, of who you are in your own individualized self. That while it is wonderful to have counterpart energy, you stand strong and fully on your own. So it's not to say that love is not in your life or if you're looking for love, but it is saying that you radiate most beautifully at this time when you completely embody your own energy, when you focus back on you. It is reminding me of the kind of twin flame dynamic. In the largest lesson of the twin flame dynamic is focus on the self, not in a selfish way, but in a self-preservation way, in a self-acceptance way, when we're in a place of really truly loving the self. That's when we kind of appear to be this kind of counterpart to the world. I don't just see this, Spirit is not showing me this as a singular person. It's like the whole world, kind of being at one with the whole world. with spirit as well. So that is part of what is going to feed the magnetism, this sense of self-acceptance, and really looking at yourself as a beautiful person. And I use that word very precisely. Looking at yourself as a beautiful person, which can be really difficult, probably one of the most difficult. Just, can you look at yourself, think of yourself as beautiful in the expansiveness of that word? In the past position, we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse. Especially depicted in this card, it is kind of a breaking through, breaking beyond boundaries and barriers. Like, realize, because I'm seeing all of these muscles, right? Realizing how strong we actually are. But also this a very acute understanding of the boundaries that we have put up against the world, and kind of tearing those boundaries down now. The things that serve to separate, we kind of want to open up the doorways so that we enter into an arena of oneness. That feels very, very important, that we're thinking of our independence, but also our place in reference to others, that we have a unique gift and vision and impact on the world, but that uniqueness actually adds to the oneness of humanity. I mean, it's that big. It's that big for Cancers. It always has been. It always has been for Cancers, and we know this to be true. We're kind of the ones transmuting all of these turbulent emotional energies within other people. Within ourselves first, and then within other people. Sometimes we asked for that, sometimes we didn't. And sometimes we do genuinely want to help people. And sometimes we're kind of pushed into the position of kind of, it's weird because my elbow slipped off the desk. It was like, it caught me off guard. I sit at this desk all the time, and it's like, how did I not know where the edge of the desk was? It's like, it catches you off guard sometimes when somebody comes to you for advice or help or guidance. It's just like, why me? This happened to me very recently. It happens to me constantly, but in particular, you know, there was somebody that was in a very vulnerable, sensitive position. And to be quite honest with you, I had no patience for it. Because they were very much in victim mentality. It's a place that I've been, and that's probably why Spirit put it in my face, to kind of remind me of the fact that I used to be in that place. And we can all sit in victim mentality every once in a while, but the point is, do we just sit in it and stew in it and just feel sorry for ourselves, or do we kind of lift ourselves up? So I was dealing with this person who was in that place, and I had no patience for it. I had the empathy that I could have and would normally have had was absent, because I saw somebody that was unwilling to help themselves. And when I'm faced with that, I have a difficult time. And this is just ego against ego, right? So it's the boundaries that I put up. And so Spirit shows me situations like this, right? Teaching me lessons. And this is relevant because you could be faced with something like that. Maybe not a particular instance with a person like that, but something that has been put in front of your face to teach you a lesson on how to break down those boundaries and kind of surrender to the lesson. It's clarified here by the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is a card of kind of trying to discern which way do we go next. There's a whole wide world out there, and yet we dream. We're like looking into the distance. We want something even bigger. We want something even bigger, right? But we live in this human existence. And so it's almost like there's a certain part of us that has to learn how to get along. That's part of the lesson. So Spirit is now showing me that some of you might be kind of starseed focused, not really feeling like you belong, like you are from somewhere else, drawn to somewhere else. And right now, and just for this reading, I will say that Spirit, it might be challenging you. Come back into your earthly body for just a moment. Come back into the present for just a moment and kind of sit with these energies. Sit with the understanding that, you know, we're working through breaking boundaries right now in order to expand, in order to see what's out there, in order to have that dreamy energy. Two of Wands can, we don't want to be stuck in the Two of Wands. We want to get things moving. The Wands energy is a fire element, which talks about inertia, that spark, that inspiration, that creativity. We want to get things moving. We don't want to just sit here and dream for too long, because then we get stuck in that space. And Cancers are notorious dreamers, right? So in the past energy, I just feel as though you were trying to reconcile a few things. What is it that I actually want? And what is it that has prevented me from getting it? In the present energy, I think you're doing a lot of thinking. Number 9, the Hermit card of the Major Arcana. When I talk about Major Arcana, I'm talking about the big energies that are very divinely guided, the archetypes of human experience. The Hermit card talks about being a little insular, reflective, kind of going through, when we're in the extreme version of the Hermit, we're isolating ourselves away from others so that we can just figure some stuff out. We can heal some triggers and traumas. We can look at inner child healing, going through the dark night of the soul. That's the extreme version of the Hermit. The less extreme version of the Hermit just says, I need a time out, because the Spirit's showing me this. Time out. I need a time out from everybody and everything so I can regroup. Because I've just had to go through some soul searching over here in the past energy. And now I'm trying to figure out what it is that I'm, what is it that I'm fishing for? What she has on the end of her line is a light. Brightness. The spark. The impetus for our soul to move, to elevate, to ascend. Most important word, the ascension of the self. I'm looking at these clipper ships kind of on the horizon here. Where is it that we want to go? Setting sail for something new. Clarified here by the number 11 in the Major Arcana, the Justice card, Libra energy in the reverse. So you could have Virgo or Libra in your chart. They could be people that you're dealing with. With the Justice card in reverse, there have been some lessons. We're still working through them. I know that I was in that story that I told a few moments ago about that person in victim mentality. Oh, you can trust and believe when I was in the middle of that conversation, Spirit was right there with me. Spirit was right there with me because I'm like, okay, my impatience at this scenario is the lesson. It was almost like it had nothing to do with that person, or that person was the catalyst. Because, of course, I watch a lot of tarot as well because I'm always learning. And Baba Jolie is one of my favorites. She's been saying lately, and I find this to be very resonant, that our greatest teachers are the people in life who trigger us and who make us question things. Those are the biggest teachers we could ever have. And I just found that to be true. And so it showed me, and I dare say that Spirit is showing you, that there are still lessons. There's always going to be lessons. There's always going to be lessons to learn. The Justice card talks about bringing things into balance, truth and justice, with that sword kind of pointed high in the air. Information, kind of the truth of things being shown, being brought to the surface. There are still some truths that need to be brought to the surface for you. I think that you're looking at those things right now. This is intense energy. I mean, this is quietly intense. There are some other cards that are a little bit more showy. This is quietly intense in your present moment. I think that it's almost like you've moved into a new energetic neighborhood and you're just trying to get the lay of the land, getting to meet the neighbors, wanting to see how they respond to you. Spirit is showing me a scenario where it's like you go to a new school, because it's at the time that I'm recording this, school is starting for like my nephews, right? First week of school. And they're showing me that going to a new school can kind of give you an opportunity to reinvent yourself, going to a new job, getting into a new relationship. These are opportunities where you can reinvent. I was going to say reinvent your persona, but I don't really know if that's what Spirit is getting at. Because we all, I mean, this is not to say you're inauthentic in every way, but we do have the kind of avatar, the face that we show the world, and we want that face to be as authentic as possible. And yet, we do have to have some boundaries. I think you're just trying to renegotiate what those boundaries are. How much are you willing to show people, and what are you turning away from, right? I think the focus, though, for you right now is on the big idea. Okay, so Spirit is giving me a song right now by U2, and it's called Kite. It's from their All That You Can't Leave Behind album. It's called Kite. That song, Bono wrote about his father. Who's to say where the wind will take? Sorry, Cancer, that was the third interruption in this reading. It was an Amber Alert, and in the United States, an Amber Alert is, it signifies a missing child, which is an awful, awful thing. But it's relevant, right? I had to turn off the recording momentarily because anytime I get an alert on my phone, the sound cuts out. I learned that one the hard way. Again, there's so many disruptions. I don't take anything for granted. The fact that the Amber Alert popped up talking about missing children, it's almost as if, you know, what was I saying earlier about the Hermit card, that we're looking at the inner child. We're looking at inner child wounding, right? And that's something I'm sure, you know, it's like thrown around a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true. That all these things that trigger us and provoke, Spirit just said, provoke us into retreating away, it all goes back to where we feel safe and where we feel unsafe. And those could be things that you're looking at right now. Those could be things, there's lessons that could be cropping up in some form or fashion. And again, with this, right? It's almost like where have you gone? So it's a heck of a way to give that message. Because an Amber Alert, it's a very real thing, right? And I don't want to take that lightly. It's a very real danger. But Spirit is bringing it to the fore. I don't know. Have you felt like maybe there's a part of you that is trying to comfort the little person inside of you? Spirit is showing me a scenario where just recently, as opposed to the person that I had no empathy for in that particular moment because they were playing very much a victim, conversely, with a loved one that I recently just saw, I was trying to hold and comfort their inner child. So there could be something like that, like if it's not your own inner child, it could be someone else's inner child. So just take that as it resonates. Thank you, Spirit. It must be true. Okay, they're confirming that. They want me to pull a clarifier, so I will. On the inner child, the topic of the inner child. What do you want to say about it, Spirit? Sun in reverse. Shedding light on something. Sun is the best card in the deck. Number 19 of the Major Arcana, even if it's in the reverse, it really is showing this need for illumination, for clarity, for transparency. It's interesting too, though, that her eye is covered by this blackbird. There's this sense here that things, even in the light of day, there is still this little tiny aspect that is hidden. With the card in reverse, it's just that something needs to come, some truth needs to come to the surface. This could be you needing to express something, somebody relevant in your life, important to you, needing to express something. I will say, everything comes to the surface eventually. And Spirit wanted me to say that. The truth will out. That's what they just said. This is a joke that I have at work because I manage teams, right? Whenever my employees are trying to get away with something, I always find out. Even if it's months later, the truth will out. I will always find out. And I feel as though Cancer's perception is just bang on point. If it's regarding your own selfhood, it will come to the surface no matter what. For the potential outcome, King of Cups, this is Scorpio energy in reverse. Yeah. Right now, the King of Cups is somebody who, very authentic person when the card is in the upright, but there's always something really strange about the King of Cups because they don't really express everything. They feel deeply, they love deeply, but they don't talk very much. They don't express their feelings very much. And I think it's, see these sharks in the water in their solar plexus? I think that there's a little bit of fear that, and I'm always trying to kind of understand this card in terms of that fear. What is it exactly? And sometimes I think it's just like fear of acceptance. Like if I actually express my feelings, are people going to be okay with that? Because they look at me, King of Cups, as this strong, caretaking, generous, loving person. But if I actually reveal these turbulent waters, these shark-infested waters that sometimes crop up, am I going to be accepted? Right? The card in the reverse, it kind of shows me, also coupled with the Strength card, number 8, Leo energy in reverse. This is a Major Arcana card. These two cards here kind of show me in the future, your ego is going to be tested a little bit. That's not a bad thing. It's like we've stepped into the new environment, the new dimension, the new ascension, the new energetic neighborhood. And so now we kind of have to look around and make friends. How are we going to present ourselves to that? How are we going to introduce ourselves to these new souls that are going to be coming into our life? And to a certain extent, we manifested it. We wanted this new beginning. We dreamed it. It's here, Cancer. You worked hard for it, but there could be a little insecurity of, can we make friends? So I do see this in your future potential based on the reading today. Now remember, tarot is just a snapshot of the energy here. You can make different decisions from this very moment forward that flip these cards in the reverse. But for right now, what I see is a little bit of hesitation. I accept me. Will they accept me? I'm going to say the answer is yes to that. The sun did appear in your reading. It's almost like you just have to show them, right? Don't dim your light. Don't dim your light. Okay. Final card of advice from Spirit for Cancer, please. Final card of advice from Cancer. Could not have been any more beautiful if it tried. Why? The Star card, number 17 of the Major Arcana. This is Aquarius energy. Why is the Star card so relevant? It talks about wish fulfillment and healing, first and foremost, but it is a counterpart to the Hermit. This light at the end of the line is the light from the star. That's how it goes in old tarot. So the two counterparts are here, the counterparts of the self, right? Who is responsible for your healing? You are. And Spirit is saying there's no need to worry. See how beautiful this is? There's such a whimsy. This Fae energy feels like whimsy. It feels like playfulness, lightness of being. And then here, this kind of Taj Mahal type structure feels like majesty. It feels like abundance. It feels like old history and this dreaminess. It can all be yours, Cancer. I dare say that some of it is already happening. But there's something about that inner child that still needs to be reconciled. There's something a little unsettled right now with this energy. Surrender to it. Think about it. Meditate on it. Look at it. Call it out. The more you do that, the more you can inhabit this lightness of being. So that's your reading, Cancer. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Cancer.